surprise. I mean, it's also a very short stream because I'm gonna be here like an hour. But it's a surprise stream. I literally did not even realize it was Memorial Day. Like, I know what Memorial Day is. I know it's a thing. I know it happens every year. But I just kind of like, it slipped my mind that it was today. Literally, I didn't realize it was Memorial Day until I went outside to get my bins. And I was like, why are my bins still full? The collector usually comes by on time, like at least by 2, which is like why I will wait until later in the day to get them, right? But I go out and they're both full to the brim because like obviously that's why I put them out so they can be emptied. And I'm like, why are they not emptied? Because it's Memorial Day and I'm a dumbass. They don't empty them on Memorial Day. Anyway, it is well past time for the store on Animal Crossing to be open, and I don't actually remember who Leaf is. Oh, it's that guy. I already bought plants and seeds from him last time. I mean, I think they might change, but I don't really know. Anyway, anyways, I also still had some like spooky stuff to read from r/paranormal, but yeah, it's gonna be a really short stream. And surprise! Hello! I'm just glad all of my plants grew in so beautifully and oh, never mind. I got excited for a second and thought I had orange tulips, but they're just the yellow ones, but they look really weird from that angle. I was like, oh my god, did I get orange or something? Nope. I love how he has an umbrella and I just run through the rain like I don't give a shit. I mean, it's not wrong. I don't, but I just want to see if he has anything new. Come on, hurry up so I can... Because I can't read the post while I'm talking to someone because I have to actually see what the, like, menu says. I want to see what he actually has if, like, the options are different. I'm aware I don't have money right now. Sugarcane? I absolutely have to get money and come back for the sugarcane. But we already have cosmos. I don't think we have that particular plant, though. We already have cosmos and pansies, though, but I might get those 2 different shrubs in the sugarcane. So I'm definitely going to be spending 10 to 20,000 bells buying plants. Just saying. So definitely coming back to that. But anyway, I might as well just go get the money now. The first post is actually one that I meant to read last stream and I didn't. And I don't remember why I couldn't. I feel like we started talking about something else and then I just never got to read it. Oh, hi, Magic Cat. But the post was by No Links 2194, and at this point it's been 6 freaking days, but it was fresh when I first wanted to read it. Saw what I thought was my deceased sister, then it transformed into something else. 3 nights ago, I woke up dead out of my sleep. It wasn't a dream. I saw it clearly. My sister had, you know, expired of a unauthorized medication overdose. I'm sorry, I'm trying to rephrase this for like a PG friendly manner. About 6 years ago, I saw her sitting at the foot of my bed smiling at me. I was so taken aback. She wasn't fully there, but more like transparent. Then her eyes turned black? Oh, hell no. I turned my lamp by my bed on instantly. This all happened in probably the matter of 5 to 8 seconds, and then she was gone. My wife woke up and I was in tears, and she felt the foot of my bed, and it was warm like it was sweaty. Ew. I was wide awake. I know what I saw. I don't know if she was trying to tell me something or if something was pretending to be her. I've lived in the same house for the past 2 years. Nothing weird has happened. The only new thing, he used the wrong new, oh sweetie, is we just found out my wife is pregnant. Since then, I've been having dreams of my sister, her singing, or us playing soccer. Anyone have any ideas what this means? I mean, I suppose something could have been impersonating your sister, but I also feel like it could have been more innocent than it seems like, and that, like, maybe she's gonna be reincarnated into your child, or... I don't really know. It could be anything, bro. You could have just ate some funky shrimp and hallucinated. Wait, you have anxiety because of an exam? And your anxiety's so bad it made your stomach hurt. No, friend. Okay. Darn. Since you're here, I'm almost tempted to go find something wholesome to read, but it's like, but that's not what the stream is meant to be about. Damn it. I don't know what to do. Ah, I'm torn. Of course it's 1 a.m. for you. Of course. I just withdrew 20,000 bells so that I can go buy some stuff from, what's his name? Leaf, I think. Oh, sending you hugs. If you want them. Sending you platonic electronic hugs. God, that's a mouthful. I'm withdrawing money because he has sugarcane, and I really want to buy some sugarcane to plant. Where I'm going to plant it, I don't know, because most of the island is my fruit trees, but, we can try. Ooh, available in bulk. I'll probably get like 15. Don't question, I did the same thing with the wheat. At least I think I did. Did I get 15 of the wheat or did I get 10? I don't know. I got a lot of the wheat. Like, every time there's a starter kit for a crop, I always get a bunch. I don't know why I can't be a normal person and just buy 5, but it's whatever. Wheat! With a T! Wheat! I am a humble farmer. I am not a, unlicensed pharmacist. Yeah, since this is supposed to be rated E for everyone, I doubt they would allow him to outright sell Mary Jane, which is another word for that plant. I love that I did ask. Just bought 3 from him in a row. What? I'm sorry, but what? That sounds crazy. Bro, so someone on our paranormal, it looks like Ryan Shaw is Yake. I don't even know what the fuck that is referencing. 21 hours ago. Very short and sweet. It's like 2 sentences long or whatever. 3 sentences. It's titled, "Has an animal ever spoken to you?" Like, bro, no. Are you sure you're not hallucinating? Like, I'm not trying to, like, be cute about mental illness, but what? It says, when I was 3 or 4 years old, a dog said hi and my name. Bro, if you're not hallucinating, I don't think that was a dog. I remember the dog. He wasn't scary at all. I don't have more information and never knew someone that could speak with animals. Bro, either you were hallucinating or that was not a dog. Like, just saying. I'm just freaking saying. Like, I feel like that I just, like, am I wrong? Am I crazy? I know, I'm buying like 3 of everything. Don't judge me. Well, 3 of everything I don't have. I already have everything else, so I'm buying 3 of the ones I don't have. So this is the last one for that one. Then I'm gonna buy the little, like, red bush down here, and I'm done. I swear. But yeah, what is your opinion? Because that's wild. I'm like, I don't think that was a dog. Like, if that is not some sort of hallucination, then that's not a dog. Like, straight up. I don't know. I feel like that short post garnered so much one-sided discussion from me, but I was like, hard no. Freaking out. That's, nope. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that is not a dog. That is something that has taken on the appearance of a dog. Like, if it was real and you weren't hallucinating, then clearly that is just something that looked like a dog at the time of speaking to you, but that was not a dog. Like, literally. Exactly. My first thought was a shape changer, although I love that your theory is innocent. You're like, oh, maybe the shape changer just wants to be like friends or whatever. But I was immediately thinking, holy crap, what if it's a ruse and it's just trying to get his guard down or what have you? Like, I don't know why I automatically assumed the dark option, but I was like, bro, you almost got eaten. Like, the spirit did not even do anything overtly threatening. And I was like, is he sure he didn't almost get eaten? Like, a little bit? Like, you know? 10 red, 10 pink, and then 15 sugarcane. Oh, I thought I got... So I have to go back in and get one more of each of these. I thought I got 15. Okay, whatever. I have to go back and get one each of the bushes. But yeah, I love how I always assume the worst. Like, what if it was trying to, like, spirit you away or deceive you or what have you? And you're like, it just wants to be friends. There are two kinds of people. You assumed best intentions. I assumed worst intentions. I was like side-eyeing it heavily. And you were just like, oh, it's just friendly but doesn't want to scare you. And I'm like, you sure about that, babe? You sure about that? Some spirits change their shape to an animal or whatever to make people less scared of them. I know. I know that. It's just like, I don't know if I could trust that there wasn't something shady going on too without some kind of reassurance. I don't know. Cuz like personally in like my religion, I know there are a lot of people who were like, "Oh, well, this specific spirit actually came to me years ago, but they looked different cuz like they wanted to like fit in with my life or expectations or didn't want to scare me or whatever, didn't want to overwhelm them, what have you. Different things. And some spirits are just shapeshifters and it's like not that deep and they just look different every time you encounter them. Like, you know? So, I get it, but I guess I'm also one of the like paranoid, better safe than sorry people that's like, maybe hold back just the tiniest bit kind of thing. Because I was like, I don't know if I like that. Ooh. No! You had anxiety to the point you cried? Oh my god. I'm so sorry that you have to feel this way. Um, I wish there was something I could do to make it better, but literally the only thing that will actually make it better is probably getting through the exam, so I can't really do anything for you. But my heart does go out to you. Dang, I feel bad about if I had known beforehand how stressed out you were, I would have made this a wholesome stream since I can only be here for an hour anyway. Like, damn. Maybe I can change the name to like Eerie, then wholesome. Is there like a subreddit for like wholesome stuff? Wholesome subreddits. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it Eerie then wholesome. Like I feel so guilty. Like if I had known you felt this bad, like cuz of like obviously outside stuff going on, but still, I don't want to make you feel worse. So let me just real quick find something wholesome cuz again, I'm not going to be here for super long cuz it was a surprise stream. Like I can't see myself being here longer than an hour, hour and a half. Really just depending cuz I don't I'm pretty sure that my husband is gonna be grilling steak tonight, so I don't really have to like cook besides making rice or potatoes or vegetables or something. But sorry, like issues with my nose. But yeah, I'm desperately trying to find something wholesome for you. Um, cause I let me just wash my hands real quick. Cool. Anyway, I don't want you to feel worse. Like, I don't want you to be stressed and scared. So I'm like trying to find something wholesome for you. This stream turned around real quick. Yeah, I don't want you to be super stressed on exam night. What's going on with me? Oh, yeah, I'm kind of everywhere cuz this was not planned. How do I change the title? Oh, it already changed it for me. Surprise stream, also eerie, then wholesome. Cool. So yeah, I'm just Googling like uplifting or wholesome subreddits in the background so that I can like read from those and make you feel better. Or at least make you feel something nice, make you feel something other than anxiety. Um, I mean, there's r/good news. Ow. Uplifting trends, good news. Humans being bros, made me smile. Puplifting news. Oh, that's like good news but for puppies. Uh, some good news. Let's see. Yeah, okay. These look harmless enough. That way I can find something wholesome to read for a little bit cuz I felt super bad about making you feel like I don't want you to feel creeped out and like scared um while you're already stressed. Like sorry. Do you think, and obviously I'm not a doctor, but do you think like you should talk to someone about some sort of like OCD tendencies? And this is not an insult. I'm just like I'm actually asking based off of myself. Okay. I was like I hope this isn't coming out of left field. Obviously I'm not a doctor, but like okay, let's see. Jesus Christ. I love that there's a subreddit where they're talking about which subreddits are wholesome. This is not really helping me though because they're just like what they're giving isn't really as wholesome as what I'm looking for, so it's kind of like I I don't know because I feel like if it's not an overtly harmful action, then I don't know if there's anything you should do unless it's bothering you. Like is it affecting your quality of life? Do you feel like it's helping? Is there somewhere where you could like redirect or channel this energy, like stimming? Hmm. Hmm. Sorry that I'm sniffly. My allergies are just acting up all over the place. Hmm. I'm not a doctor, but just from my personal experience, I feel like if you could try to redirect it towards some form of like stimming, and there are discrete forms so that like if you feel like you'll be bullied or pressured or it'll draw attention, that way there's something discreet you can do to like still relieve the pressure without it being obvious. Hmm. Why on earth is it so hard to find wholesome subreddits? Jesus Christ on a cracker. Why is it easier to find upsetting subreddits? Help. None of this is helping. Oh my god. Purest and most wholesome subreddits. Please, God, ask Reddit. Come through. Come in clutch. Help a bitch. Oh, there's r/eye bleach. Okay. r/all. Before and after adoption. Contagious laughter. Examples of good. Cool, 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 cool. These sound like they're wholesome enough to actually be useful. So, there's that. What's this? You get anxious thinking a lot about the future, forget, get bored fast. I really think, I don't know if you know what stimming is, but I really feel like it could be beneficial to you. Obviously, I'm just saying this because of like personal experience. I don't have a medical degree. Okay. Oh, God, how to explain? Is there like a. I know what it is because I do it, but I don't know if there's like a dictionary definition. Because usually everyone I talk to already knows what it is. Like, I don't know how to. Okay, so stimming, also known as self-stimulating behaviors, are repetitive body movements or repetitive movements of objects. Because, I know that, like. Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't want to make you feel bad. I just don't want to make you feel bad. That was all. Okay. All right. Let me change the title again. Because I was like, I don't want you to feel bad. Okay. I just didn't want to, like, stress you out. Because literally the next post that I was going to read before you said you were stressed out was titled, I lived in a haunted house for a year. Once I acknowledged it, the activity got stronger. And I was like, this is giving anxiety and paranoia. Like, I don't want to give that to you when you're already stressed, kind of thing. But if you're okay with it, who is this posted by? Creepy Cute Cadaver. Well, that's certainly a very goth slash emo name, and we love to see it. Um, 16 hours ago. Okay. Hi all, this is my first time posting to Reddit, so I apologize if it's not well done. I shared my haunted house experience with a number of friends, but never further than that, but I think it's nice to get it off my chest. That's a lot of butts. My partner and I rented a house in 2021. We were short on time and ended up settling with an older 5-bedroom home, which arguably was too big for us, but we made do with what we could get. Honestly, they could probably sublease those rooms, to be honest, and make a little money off of it. But anyway, the first time I entered the house, there was just something about it that felt weird. All of the doors had patterned glass windows in them, which always bugged me due to the feeling I got of being constantly watched. Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. I'd probably put little, like, you know how you can install little curtains on, like, the windows that are on doors? That's what I would do. Because we have a door like that. One door in the whole house that's like that. And there's a little curtain over it that you can pull up and pull down. Because, yeah, it would be fucking creepy if you just left it uncovered. Anyway, sorry. Went off on a tangent. I've always been sensitive to the energy of things around me, whether it be people or places. But with this house, I just brushed it off at first and put it down to just adjusting to a new living situation. No, 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 no baby cakes, baby girl, baby boy, whoever it is, no. If the vibes were rancid, it is not just in your head. Within the first month, I started noticing the activity. It was mostly standard things like hearing footsteps down the hallway and doors creaking open. I never felt anything insidious or malicious in the house, so I never felt scared by the activity. My partner, who doesn't particularly believe in the paranormal, never began experiencing nightmares most nights. Oh, excuse me. However, began experiencing nightmares most nights where he would be shaking and mumbling in his sleep until I'd eventually wake him gently. He doesn't remember what the dreams were about, but they were an almost nightly occurrence for a while. Around 6 months into the activity, it started ramping up. I would find the French doors in the house, which are locked in 3 places, wide open when no one had been in that room for days or even weeks. A flatmate was staying there originally but moved out 3 weeks prior to this occurring. I would often see shadows of people staring through the windows of the interior doors in the middle of the day, and the footsteps up and down the hall never stopped. Occasionally doors would open or slam shut, which was caught a couple of times by friends I was video calling with. Once I started mentioning to people that I believed the house was haunted, the activity got louder. Yes, because you gave it attention! It was like, oh, you noticed? Not that that would stop the haunting anyway. Like, if a ghost is going to haunt you, then it's going to haunt you. And it doesn't matter if you give it attention in one sense. But this is clearly one of those spirits where if you give it the modicum of attention, it's like, oh, you noticed I exist? Let's formally meet. Anyway, The usually soft footsteps sounded more like stomping, and the doors to the unused rooms and outside would open more frequently. The most intense event, however, occurred only a month or two before we were set to move out. My partner worked early mornings, so I'd often be awake around 4 or 5 a.m. One morning, I relaxed back in bed in the dark, scrolling through my phone after my partner had left. I was wide awake, and from the corner of the room, I heard a distorted male voice call out, "Hello? Hello?" Louder the second time. Since I was used to the activity, I said something along the lines of, "Yes, yes, I can hear you. I mean no harm. I'm just trying to go to sleep." There was no response, and I eventually fell asleep again. I don't know if this is interesting, but it's just a little story about my time in the house. It was built around the 1930s and withstood a number of severe natural disasters. I just hope the new tenants aren't too spooked by whatever's in there. Huh. I'm mostly frustrated that she keeps swimming circles around this damn thing she's trying to catch. But, huh. So that was a lot of activity, but I feel like if it was going to hurt you, it would have already tried. So, like, unless there's some diabolical spirit trying to lull you into a false sense of security or perform a ruse, then it's just, it would have already hurt you if that was its intention. Unless there's some kind of, like, greater plan at play for whatever reason. But it didn't really sound malicious. It was just kind of like, oh, finally, someone who recognizes I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. You know, it didn't really seem like that deep, but I could be wrong. What gets me is the fact that they would literally be on video calls and people would see shit on the other side. I'm like, nope. No, thank you. No. Like, I can't imagine video calling someone and I just see a spirit pop up over their shoulder. Like, obviously, you don't have to actually be afraid of something to be startled. And when you have PTSD like I do, you can have a very exaggerated startle response. Like, I've literally rolled over to find my cat staring at me, like, face to face with me, and I didn't even know he was on the bed, and it has made me jump so hard. And, like, clearly, I'm not afraid of my cat, but rolling over and suddenly coming face to face with another face made me jump. You know, like, obviously I wasn't, like, scared, and I'm not scared of my cat, but it just startled me because I didn't expect him to be there. So I can imagine just jumping so freaking hard if someone's on the phone and the spirit just pops over their shoulder like, "Hey, I'm Uncle John." Like, "Uncle John, you're dead. You need to butt out a conversation." By the way, I just made up Uncle John because, you know, John Smith, common name, whatever. Oh, Lord, 3 hours ago, might have gotten more than I bargained for at an estate sale. By DJ Deegan. Jesus Christ. You said shiver your timbers? I love that. I don't think I've ever seen someone comment shiver my timbers. That's beautiful. Oh, that's glorious. Okay. This is like 3 paragraphs. We'll live. I went to my first ever estate sale a week ago, bought an old Polaroid, no film, and a cheapy analog camera. No film, no batteries. And a set of 6 glasses and a little vase. Why do I feel like this is the start to a horror movie? I read old camera and was like, nope. There's literally an entire horror movie about someone finding this antique camera, and whoever's picture is taken by the camera, within the movie, of course, everyone in the photo would be hunted down by a spirit. Like, there's literally a movie about that. So that instantly made me like, like, I've never come across a haunted camera in real life, nor do I want to, knock on wood, to, it's just like, it made me think of that. Anyway, my husband and I have lived in our house for about a year with 0 weird events. Hold on, I lost my place. 0 weird events. Oh, or even weird vibes. Nothing but normal. Before we bought it, someone flipped it, and before that, it was being rented. It was built in 1960. So last Friday, my husband and I were hanging out in the living room. There's a skylight in the living room, and at night, you can see a reflection of the room in the daylight. One of our dogs started growling and barking at the skylight, but we thought maybe she has just noticed the reflection in it for the first time. Then she kept barking and growling and watching something. She was tracking something up near where the ceiling meets the wall, but it wasn't in the skylight well at It wasn't in the skylight well at all. What does that mean? We have a round coffee table directly under the skylight with a bunch of coffee table books and games on the bottom of it. One of the games is a Connect 4. My husband and I decided to go get a bite to eat, and when we came back, the Connect 4 was tipped over on the ground. It could have been the dogs, but we've never seen them go under the coffee table or mess with anything. Mess with anything in it before. That was a weird pause, my bad. I reset it, taking careful note of how I said it, and we went to sleep. Last night, he and I left for a while, dogs at home alone. When we came back, we walked right past the coffee table, and neither of us noticed anything out of the ordinary. This morning, I walk out, and there the Connect 4 was tipped again. But to make it even weirder, it was tipped in a way as if someone had dumped out everything and then put the base back upright. The latest piece with all the slots for the pieces was separated from the base, but the base was totally upright. I'm somewhat convinced there's a connection between my bringing home cameras from an estate sale and the sudden paranormal activity. We reset the Connect 4 and left the dogs at my mom's house today. If it's tipped when we get back, I'm in trouble. Thoughts? What do you do if you suspect you've brought a haunted item into your house? Well, you could... There are several options. You could get used to having a new roommate who's not doing anything for the house. You know, like cooking, cleaning, watching kids, watching dogs, taking care of dogs, working, nothing. I'm dead ass. You could get used to having a new roommate. You could try to cleanse the item. You could get rid of the item. I guess a fourth option would be trying to help the spirit move on. I wouldn't say break it because I've heard a story of someone who bought an antique dollhouse from an estate sale. And if you immediately thought, oh, hell no, that was my first thought too. But anyway, there was an antique dollhouse with a bunch of rooms. It had little furniture. I think it had little people with little clothing too. And they would talk about how, like, the little people in the house would move around whether or not someone played with it. They would talk about the lights inside being turned on when they had been turned off previously and there was nothing wrong with the wiring or anything. They would find things. I don't even remember all the details, but it got to the point where I'm sorry, but I feel like I have to. You can stop listing, I guess, until I say pomegranate or something. It got to the point where they were like, holy shit, we need to burn the dollhouse. So they burned the dollhouse in a bonfire. And then a couple days, it might have been that night or it might have been a couple days later. I don't remember the time frame. But their house burned down. And they figured it was connected to them burning the dollhouse because they were like, clearly the ghost thought if you burn my house, I'll burn yours. Oh, I think there was some activity where the family saw a little girl walking around the house or something that wasn't the daughter. Yeah, I think they were like, oh, it was just my kid coming in the kitchen, but the kid's clearly been fast asleep for hours, and they're like, we don't have any more children. I think it was something like that. But yeah, things got so weird that they got really scared and were like, let's just burn it. And then their house burned down, and they were like, well... I was like... I didn't even say pomegranate. You just came back in and said you were ready to hear it. LOL. I didn't even say it yet. Pomegranate. Pomegranate. I was honestly going to type it, but you came back anyway. I love that. You came back anyway. Anyway, I love that you came back beforehand. Curious kitty over here. Don't worry, satisfaction brought it back. That's the full saying, you know. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Clearly, you were just curious, and it didn't matter what was going on. You had to come back anyway. Anyway, pomegranate has been said and typed. You are safe. You are safe. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll just put pomegranate so that like you know when to come back or whatever. Like I was gonna type it in chat, and you were just like, you know what? I'm curious. Tell me. Hmm. Let's see. Hearing sounds in the night, posted 7 hours ago by this composer 6848. Mind you, there are underscores. Hmm. I can avoid reading it if it will freak you out too much. This is why I said I would go to wholesome posts, but you said you could handle it. I was like, I can go read wholesome, and you were like, no, give it to me. Cool. So this happened today. I am a late sleeper. I sleep at 3 or 4 a.m. most of the day because school is closed and I use my phone, exercise, or do some research. So it was like 3. It says 3 dot dot 6. Do they mean like 3:06? 3:06 a.m. Oh, it was the witching hour. And I decided to sleep. I turned off the light and laid down. I started to hear noises like a woman crying and a sound like I guess they mean like humming. And I heard a man's voice. It was not talking, but like of zombies or casting spells or something. So that I frantically got up and turned on the lights and could still hear the noises and thought it was the fan. So I turned off the fan and could still hear these two voices. I, I wasn't scared because I am religious, so I started to pray. I don't take substances, and it's the first time something like this happened to me. So I started praying, and the man's voice became deeper, and it was gone. And then the woman's voice stayed there until 4:25. I was on my phone at time, praying and looking at my phone, and I decided to take my holy book and read some verses. The voice was suddenly gone, and said, I said, find some peace and be gone from my house. And I put my phone away, decided to sleep. There was no voice there while I was sleeping, and I woke up at 11:38 a.m. and everything was fine. My mental, physical, and emotional health are fine. No stress, no issues, so don't say it was because of that. Also, the person was, and it was explicitly one particular religion, but because I want to keep things like neutral, I just said they're religious and they read from their holy book. You can imagine whatever you'd like. I'm sure everyone's probably going to imagine their own religion and holy book, but yeah. Temperature change. Are you okay? This is why I tried to offer you wholesome stuff, but your curiosity got the best of you. But you're religious too. I suppose you could always just start praying if something weird happens. Mermaid princess dress. How is that different from the other mermaid dress he gave me? You figured out what scares you? What does that mean? Because the next one's from 2 hours ago from consistent underscore tonight 37. And it says seeing strange apparitions at night. When I was 11 or 12, I always felt connected to spirits. I always felt like something was with me or watching me whenever I was alone. But on very rare occasions at night, I would wake up around maybe 2 or 3, by that witching hour again, and see something. The first time I swear I saw a hooded, hunched person with a cane across my bed looking to the left, not at me. My heart was racing and I hid under the covers. That's all I remember. The second was yet again me waking up the same time, and I saw my great grandfather with a glowing heel, but his body was spinning and it was blocky. I don't know, don't ask. And he was smiling at me. Again, I hid under my covers and was terrified. And finally, the last thing was again me waking up at 2 or 3 and seeing a Victorian era woman, all black, no face, just sitting pitch black directly next to me with a hat from that time on her head. That's the last time anything has happened. I'm 20 now and don't get anything anymore besides that feeling I'm being watched sometimes. I don't know if it was a medication or not, but it seriously felt like something not from this world was with me those 3 times. If anyone had a similar experience, please let me know. No! Why are you crying? Every time they're like, it was at 3 a.m., I was like, it's the goddamn witching hour. Excuse my French. It's the witching hour. It's literally the witching hour. That's what they call it. I don't know. I know that probably has roots in Christianity, and even though I'm not Christian, I was raised in that culture. But I'm just like, I'm sitting here like, what are the exact origins? Witching hour. What do you mean you're coming over? So, I'm on the Wikipedia page. In folklore, the witching hour, or the devil's hour, is a time of night that is associated with supernatural events, whereby witches, demons, and ghosts are thought to appear and be at their most powerful. Definitions vary and include the hour immediately after midnight and the time between 3 and 4. The term now has a widespread colloquial and idiomatic usage that is associated with human physiology and behavior to more superstitious phenomena such as luck. The phrase witching hour began at least as early as 1775 in a poem Night, an Ode by Reverend Matthew West. Interesting. Its origins may go back further, back to 1535, when the Catholic Church prohibited activities between 3 and 4 a.m. time frame due to emerging fears about witchcraft. So I was right. It did have roots in Christianity. So it's not really something people have to believe in, especially if, like, that's just, like, not a part of their religion or culture. But it does say where it comes from. I will say that there is some merit to things being more active at that time. But I don't necessarily think that it was, that it's because that time is, darn. I don't necessarily think it's because that time is inherently magical or supernatural. Or, I mean, it could be, but I also think that belief is a powerful thing. And I think that even if it wasn't like that before, our collective belief in it could have made it that way. Because belief is powerful. And I believe that even if it wasn't originally a supernatural hour, that we could have manifested that through our belief in it. So that's just my 2 cents. You are entitled to disagree with me. That doesn't mean anyone has to be an asshole about disagreeing with me, but you are in fact entitled to disagree with me. So that is just my opinion. Ooh, your religion has it too? Yeah, I didn't know it was also called the Devil's Hour, but that makes a lot of sense because of the Catholic Church. In the Western Christian tradition, the hour between 3 and 4 was considered a period of peak supernatural activity, which is why this time is also referred to as the Devil's Hour, due to it being a mocking inversion of the time in which Jesus supposedly died, which was at 3 p.m. That makes a lot of sense. I wonder what the roots are as far as, like, belief in Islamic society, and if that has any connection to, like, Christian society. Wild, isn't it? It's wild how things work out. I'm gonna try to catch this snail, and obviously I have another story. Obviously I have all the stories. I I love that there's a little section just explaining that the witching hour, that there are technically multiple times that are considered the witching hour, or can be considered the witching hour. Because, like I said, I have heard some people mention the hour between 12 and 1. I don't know where they got that, especially since I personally only feel the connection between 3 and 4. There are multiple times that can be considered the witching hour. Some claim the time is between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m., well, like I said, while others claim there is increased supernatural activity between sunset and sunrise. So just the whole entire night, which makes sense. The New Zealand Oxford Dictionary identifies midnight as the time when witches are supposedly active. I mean, to be fair, I am usually up at midnight, but that's because I'm a night owl, not because I'm a witch. Anyway. Hold on. During the time in which this term originated, many people had sleeping schedules that meant they were awake during the middle of the night. Really now? Where did that locust go? Nonetheless, there's psychological literature suggesting that apparitional experiences and sensed presences are most common between the hours of 2 and 4, corresponding with the 3 a.m. peak in the amount of melatonin in the body. But listen, y'all, that doesn't mean that it's not real, and it doesn't mean there's not any spiritual significance. It can just mean that there's a scientific reason that correlates with it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people would immediately be like, oh, because there's religion, there can't be science, or because there's science, there can't be religion, or what have you. But what if that just makes you more susceptible to being able to sense spirits? Like, it doesn't mean, oh, it's all a hoax. It means, oh, here's a physiological reason why you might be more sensitive to spirits. Like, just saying, you don't have to discount one because of the other. You don't have to ignore science to fit religion, folklore, superstition, and you don't have to ignore those three things just to follow science. Like, they can, in fact, pair together. I'm just saying. Let's see. You said, so I'm reading Magic Cat's response just for anyone who watches this later. Magic Cat said, yeah, God said to sleep at night because night is time for different things, not humans. I'm guessing demons, spirits, and stuff. And then you said, witch. Are you calling me a witch? I mean, it's not inaccurate, I guess, but, it's funny because different religions and cultures have different ideas of what witches are. Okay. Let me get a drink of water, and then I have another one. Don't worry, I won't curse you. Okay. That one's a little longer than I'd like, but it's only... 5 or 6 paragraphs? I love the meow. So, I love that the too long didn't read version is just kind of confusing. This is why you should always read the full story instead of the too long didn't read, because sometimes the summary is not enough. because the too long didn't read says jogging with my dog in the forest, which already sounds creepy, when we were hit with a sudden, strong, and unfamiliar smell. Notice we're surrounded by fog. Oh, hell no. Run home and the smell comes back. What? Like, I suppose that could just be natural. Like, it could just be you smelled a flower in bloom that you've never smelled before. Or something. But I can also see where it could kind of be like a cryptid situation, maybe? Or a spirit. Like, it's funny because I feel like because of my religion, people would think I would automatically believe that everything is a spirit. And I definitely think spirit activity is common and that it's possible it could be a spirit. But I also think, I always think there are other possibilities. Like, sure, something could be a spirit, but it could also also easily be something else. So I don't want to just be like, oh, yeah, obviously it's a spirit every single time. Although some things are just blatantly, they just blatantly sound like a spirit activity. Like, it's the difference between the guy seeing a hand in his window when none of his children were, either they were out of the house or they were in another part of the house asleep and his wife was outside. Like, where did the hand come from? To me, it's more likely that it's a ghost than someone living in his walls or something. Versus the person who admitted that it could have been their dog knocking over the Connect 4, which is why they did the experiment with the dog not at home. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm literally like, sometimes it's very obviously supernatural or very strongly possible that it's supernatural. Like, well, if no one was there, then whose hand was it? Versus, like, yeah, the dog could have been the one knocking it over. Or a strong draft. You know? Like, there's different stories are on different ends of the spectrum, I guess is what I should say. Like, y'all, you just really have to think about the situation. Some situations definitely feel more obviously spiritual in nature, and other ones it's just like, well, it could have been the dog or the wind or the vibrations from the road construction. Like, I'm just saying, there are two different kinds of these experiences. They fall on different parts of the spectrum. Anyway, let me read the story. This happened here in Norway, 2018, October 4th. Oh, that's interesting. Just because it's Norway and, you know, Norse, you know, different things in Norse mythology, I wonder if any of that is related. Anyway, since then, the experience has been a fun story. I've told some of my friends. Maybe someone here has an explanation for what happened. I was going for a run with my dog. It wasn't too late, maybe 6 or 7 p.m., but it had already gotten dark. That wasn't a problem as the nearby forest path was lit by lampposts every few meters or so. I personally think it still sounds creepy, but you do you, fam. Why do I feel like this is a dude? Because I personally, as a defab person that still very much looks like a woman, I would not have run at night even with a dog because I would have been worried about, being kidnapped, being unalived, being assaulted. So I feel like this is a dude. Anyway, just my 2 cents. I felt amazing. I had started talking to a girl at the time who made me feel on top of the world. It was out of character for me to be that giddy with excitement. It's the only thing that struck me as different about that day. Exactly, like, nighttime alone is so dangerous for if you're a woman or even if you just look like a woman. Like, it's very dangerous. Because there are so many people that try to prey on women. I'm just saying. Like hell would I have run through the forest at 7 after dark. I don't care how many dogs are with me. Fuck that. Anyway, I was listening to music and practically dancing as I jogged. My dog was happily following behind. I only remember passing a couple other joggers. It struck me as a bit odd, as there'd usually be more people out at that time. Huh. We jogged for a pretty long while and eventually Oh, and everything was great, my bad, until something hit me. A sudden pungent smell bombarded my senses. To emphasize, my nose is usually stuffed and my sense of smell is not that great, but this was unmistakable and concentrated. It was sweet and inviting. Not too sweet, almost floral, but it had a slight after smell. Perhaps like one of the Fae. That's my personal commentary. Something a bit sour and off. If it was a forest fae, especially one connected with like life and death or rot or something, I can imagine. Or maybe not even fae, but just some kind of land spirit. Yeah, because I don't know why a human would be giving off that vibe. So it's like, It was so inviting and unfamiliar that I got caught up just standing there smelling until I thought of my dog. I turned to look at him, but it took me a moment to process what I was seeing under the lamplight. He was surrounded by fog. We were both surrounded by fog. There was no fog earlier, not a hint of it. I was expecting him to be standing to the side of the path, catching up on the dog. What? Expecting him to be standing to the side of the path, catching up on the dog Twitter feed, but no. What the hell does that mean? He was standing there, dead center of the path, smelling the air. I had a surge of dread run through me. I could feel the hairs on my neck stand on end. Logically, it was just fog and a smell, but my body filled with adrenaline. No, see, that's your instincts talking. Your instincts told you you were in danger. And instincts are not always rational, but they are often right. And something doesn't have to be rational to be correct. Like when I was working at this charity ministry, and it wasn't paid work, y'all. I was a volunteer. I was the only person there of a different faith. I was the only one making it interfaith. And it wasn't a haunting type of creepy. It was the fact that there was this guy there that just gave off these creepy, skeevy vibes because he kept following me and watching me. And he never tried anything, but there was something inside of me that told me to never be alone with him. I didn't know anything about him. It was just this vibe I got from him, like, don't be alone with him. I feel like my instincts saved me from being attacked in an inappropriate manner. Not that you can be attacked in an appropriate manner. I'm just saying, like, not the kind of assault where you get beat up. Like, I was afraid he would hurt me in a very specific way that perpetrators who are usually men usually hurt women. Like, I don't know. It's not like he wasn't nice. He was just very creepy, always watching, always following. And I was like, this feels off. Like, your instincts are there for a reason. So whatever made OP feel like he needed to get the fuck out of there, I don't think he should dismiss that. That's all I'm saying. I feel like it's the same. Whether it's a scary forest spirit that's going to eat your soul or some creepy guy who is a, quote, nice guy, your instincts are there for a reason. That's the too long didn't read version of my explanation. Anyway, he said his body filled with adrenaline. I can imagine. Instead of challenging that feeling, thank you, I called out to my dog. He was focused on the smell but didn't hesitate. He bolted towards me and I took it as a sign to do the same. If this was a track meet, I'd be going straight to nationals. We ran for an undefined amount of time. I took a moment to stop and gather myself. The uneasy feeling didn't leave, so I kept going, not stopping until we made it back to my grandparents'. I get to our driveway, and my dog goes to a pot of water he has outside and starts to drink from it. I stand there for a moment trying to process what happened, but I don't get to stand there long before I notice it. The smell comes creeping back. Oh, hell no. Without thinking, I immediately go to the front door and tell my dog to come inside. My grandma fully supported that I didn't wait to find out what it was. That's it. Never smelled it since or experienced any sudden fog. Could be a lot of coincidences and my mind playing tricks on me, but having my dog also react with me makes me doubt it. Yeah, no, if your dog was reacting like that and if your instincts were screaming at you, there's something going on. There's something messed up with that. I can't tell you exactly what was going on, but I just feel like, because I feel like, in so many parts of the world, everyone's quick to label a spirit a demon. Like, everything's not a demon, first of all. I feel like it was some kind of local spirit, at the very least. Since you were filled with a sense of dread, I feel like it had some sort of malicious intent towards you, OP. I don't know what it was, but it sounds like it was something old and hungry. That is the vibe I get. And I am glad you got the fuck out of there, or you and your dog would have disappeared. You would have just disappeared. Like all the people that suddenly go missing when they're hiking, jogging, camping, hunting, whatever. You would have been one of them. I'm just saying. Don't fuck with the spirits. Not everything is a demon. There are so many spirits that were around before Christianity was around. Just so many ancient spirits. I feel like I'm not necessarily saying it's some ancient elder god. It could have just been some random land spirit, some kind of local spirit, some kind of forest spirit. But I'm glad you got out of there because that sounds super scary. I would not be okay after that. Also, yes, the dog sounds cute. He didn't even say what kind of dog or what it looked like, but I'm just like, it's a dog. It's gotta be cute. That being said, I am uneasy around dogs, but that's for a reason. My grandmother was mauled by a dog. She actually had a dog, and her dog were attacked at the same time by the same dog. So her and her dog got mauled by the other dog. And I had a separate experience where when I was younger, where I was trying to pet a dog and it almost bit me in the face. And it wasn't for lack of trying. It was because at the last second, I turned my head and it bit my hair instead. And as you know, hair is dead and doesn't have nerve endings, so it didn't hurt, but it was very, like, startling for me. To be fair, I don't think he was being particularly aggressive. Well, I don't think he was being aggressive without reason. He was going blind, and I think it scared him to have someone coming in his blind spot. No pun intended. But he was going blind, and it was worse in one eye. And I feel like he just got scared because he didn't sense me or didn't expect me or whatever, or couldn't track me, and it freaked him out. Like, that's it. It wasn't that deep. He's not evil. He's not a bad dog. He's probably expired now, honestly, because that was like, what, a decade or two ago? It was a long time ago. I honestly kind of feel bad because it means I probably startled the hell out of him. He was usually a very sweet dog. That's the thing. It was a dog that knew me too. And it's not like he was sick, you know, it's not like he had rabies or distemper or something. He just got startled. He was going, you know, blind and he got startled. It wasn't really his fault. But it did make me afraid of dogs, unfortunately. And my grandmother being mauled by a dog did not help. So, you know, it is what it is. It happened. It's over. My feelings aren't going to change because it comes from trauma, not from a hatred of dogs. I still like dogs. I'm just still kind of like paranoid around them because I'm like, well, is this dog going to bite me too? You know? So I just kind of never got over it. Your bird is half blind. Aw. Wait, you have a bird? So you have a bird and a cat? For some reason, I don't remember the bird, and yet I vaguely feel like you have mentioned it before. I don't know what's going on with my brain, my mind. Okay. You can tell me about your... Oh, you have 2 parrots. Oh, so you actually have quite a few animals in your house. No wonder they don't want you to get a puppy immediately. You already have 3 animals. I don't know if they're all yours, but if they're shared between the family, I can understand why they don't want yet another one living with them. Oh, did I tell you the good news? Hey, Magic Cat. Hey, did I tell you the good news? I have some really good news. Or some hopeful news, at least. It didn't really sink in until now. Oh, okay, so, not to sound super pretentious, but we're getting a puppy from a trusted breeder. Just because my husband really wanted a specific breed of dog, and he knows the person. No, you're not getting a puppy. We're getting a puppy! Like, well, we already knew this, but the exciting news is that the mother that is supposed to provide our puppy just gave birth. Yeah, she just gave birth, so it's not quite the same as if you're waiting for an adoption with a human baby, but it's like, our baby was just born. We can't get the baby right away, though, the puppy. We can't get the puppy because puppies are baby dogs, so obviously it's still a baby. Um, we can't get the little baby dog, the little puppy for. I'm trying to work out how many months the number of weeks works out to. Like 3 months, maybe 4, because they need to spend like 12-ish weeks with the mother to like be what is the word, to be properly socialized, and for their like mental and emotional development. And of course they need to be weaned properly too. And it's also the breeder, because again, we actually know her. It's time for the breeder to take time to get to know the dogs to see which one has the best temperament for our family. Because there's multiple babies, so she like spends time with them to see which of them has the best personality, intelligence, quirks, etc. that work best with us or that don't work with us. So technically, we could get none of the babies from this litter. Like, maybe none of the puppies are a match for us. So we could actually be waiting longer, but at least this litter has been born, so we could be getting a puppy in a few months. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, like puppies and kittens, they have to stay with their mom a certain amount of time because it can mess up their intellectual, mental, and emotional development if they're not. Especially since their parents teach them like basically how to be cats and dogs, and since they typically have siblings unless they're the only surviving member, that's also where they get socialized of like how to play fight, how to be gentle, etc. Hold on. And he wants a corgi specifically. And there are actually a lot more than you think. Like, there are both reputable and non-reputable breeders. So, I will just put that out there. So, it is possible to, yeah. It's not like every single puppy that someone could get from a specific breed is from a 3-time award-winning stud who has no health problems ever. Like, obviously, they try to minimize health problems, and obviously they follow pedigrees, but I'm just saying, like, not all breeders are as stringent, which is honestly why not all breeders are, like, certified or recognized or whatever, but, yeah. Anyway, she's a good breeder, so. It is what it is. Those are the practices you're supposed to follow for the best result, the best outcome for the little baby, for the puppy or kitten. But I know sometimes it doesn't always work out. Especially in cases where the mother has been injured or her life has been terminated under some circumstance. Like from that woman I knew who ran an animal rescue, sometimes things happen to the mom. She can get hunted by a predator, she can get hit by a car, they can just get separated. Like, sometimes things happen to the mom and you just kind of have to do what you got to do and like have the best results you can, because you can't get the best results, so you kind of got to like do what you can. Your big cat early and your half-blind parrot early. I actually don't know what the recommended thing is for the birds, but it's not like you're like a bad person or whatever just because you got them early. I'm just explaining why it's beneficial to the little baby animal to wait. But I realize not everyone does or can wait. Especially when it's taken out of your hands, like if the mother expires. Like if the mother like expired during birth or something, what are you supposed to do about that? Like, that's not your fault to begin with. But there's all kinds of reasons they can't be with their mother, so. Honestly, sometimes the mothers reject them too, like they just don't want them. So, that's also a thing. A spoiled baby acting like a human kid. Honestly, a lot of animals, if they're weaned way too early and you're the only caretaker figure they have or the only parental figure they have, they tend to see you as their parent. Like, not always, but it's something I've seen a lot, at least anecdotally. where it's like very clear that they formed that bond with you instead of their real mother because their real mother wasn't there and you were. Didn't we talk about how one or more of your animals was just like greedy though? Oh, also I have another story for you. 2 hours ago by Commander McGarrett 50. Paranormal activity his entire life. Or her entire life. I don't know. It could be named after a character instead of them personally, so to be fair. Like I have an account on a certain website that's literally named after a character and has nothing to do with me, so it doesn't indicate gender at all. That was my bad. Hmm. I know I had two different cats that were weaned early, and one of them, um, he would make biscuits and then try to like, I don't know. It's very interesting because they will try to like nurse off of like blankets and towels and comforters and stuff. Like it's like very clearly they're still following through on their like baby instincts, and they like can't. That's what one of my boys did. I mean, he's no longer with us because he accidentally poisoned himself. But yeah, he would try to like nurse off of like just random stuff, blankets, comforters, towels, clothing. Sometimes your actual skin, like your arm or leg, you could tell he was trying to like, and it was like, oh, I feel kind of bad. Yeah. I mean, not that he lived terribly long because he was within 2 years of age, so it's not like he was like an old cat. He was still young. But my first boy did that. I don't think he ever stopped doing that. He might have actually only been a year old. Um, but I don't think he ever stopped that during his whole time that I had with him. I think he was always trying to suckle off of something, always making biscuits, definitely just acting like a the cat's version of a complete mama's boy, just acting like he had no independence, which is kind of weird for a cat because cats are very independent creatures, just like basically glued to my side 24/7, constantly needed me. And obviously I would feel bad when he cried, so it's not like I could just like fuck off. But yeah, he was weaned early, and then I was a student at that time. So basically, I am the one who spent the majority of my time with him. Like, anytime I was home, since I was a student and my husband was working at the company just before this one. Yeah. It was even worse for my second boy. And he was so much younger. I don't remember if he was like 6 weeks or something, but he was so tiny and so much younger, and he just latched on to me and just acted like I was his mother. He still does, honestly. He acts like I'm his mother. At least he doesn't try to like suckle on things anymore. Thank God. That's always awkward. Hold on. She only makes biscuits. Oh yes, took her to vet. Hold on. My little cat does. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, it sounds like she's still a baby, so she's, even if she does eventually grow out of it, it's not going to be anything immediate. It's going to be like the entire time she's a baby, so, you know? Yeah, exactly. Because you got to remember, there's a reason those breeders don't tend to separate them for all those weeks, which is while they would be primarily nursing and being around their mother all the time. So that's why she does that. Even if she doesn't actually nurse anymore, even being bottle fed, that's why she does that. But I mean, a lot of cats make biscuits. That's not specifically just because they were weaned too early, but the like suckling thing is. Um, a lot of cats will do the biscuits when they feel like safe and comfortable and happy. So that's a good thing and doesn't have to end. But making biscuits paired with the suckling or just the suckling by itself is because of being weaned too early. Hmm. I love how some of these accounts of spirits are just like so thorough, like so detailed. Very detailed and very consistent. Paranormal activity my entire life. Seems to make me feel less anxious. Yes, actually, there are studies done that show, for instance, when cats purr, that it lowers people's blood pressure. I can try to link them to you later if you want. Hmm. Swap it. I'm trying to get back to land now. Let's see. I'm male, 24, have had paranormal activity around me my entire life. I wanted to see if anyone could explain any of these instances in my life as I've wondered about them for years. Any advice about what they could be and what they mean would be greatly appreciated. In 2006, I visited my grandmother's house. I was visited in my grandmother's house by a shadowy male spirit dressed in an all black trench coat with a black fedora and black leather gloves. Yo, that's so specific. What? When I came home from college, I was laying in bed and audibly heard a very childlike voice say hi when I was completely alone. A few days later, when I saw a black, severely hunched figure, um, wait, hold on. Oh, he said figure twice. That's why it's confusing. Dressed in all black and wearing what looked like a thick, heavy coat of some kind, it walked towards me and vanished. In 2021, I returned home and once saw a group of three shadow figures that looked to be people standing and facing me. In 2022, I saw a male black figure. English must not be his first language because most English speakers would say a black male figure instead of a male black figure, but whatever. Just a minor detail. It's just awkward. It's not technically incorrect. Like technically you can say adjectives in whatever order, but some of them are definitely more awkward and clunky. Like it's not natural. It sounds very stilted. Anyway, I love how I'm giving an impromptu English lesson, comforting you and reading spooky stuff. I returned home and once saw a group of three shadow figures that looked to be people standing and facing me. Right, read that. Right, 2022, black male figure dressed in a dark suit and red striped tie with discernible facial features. Um, wait, what? With discernible facial features, but facial structure was well outlined. Aren't those not the same thing? That's repetitive. Was standing in my parents' bedroom. A few days after, I saw a female figure dressed in a blue dress with long blonde hair and discernible facial features standing by a doorway of my bedroom. Okay. Why is this making me think about Sylvia Brown? Oh my god, she was a psychic that would pop up, all the time in the like early 2000s. I don't remember if she was a fraud or not. Like I don't remember if she was a real psychic or a fraud. Um I just remember she would show up on like this one TV show all the time. A couple days after I saw a black figure that looked like a woman wearing a white dress with long black hair covering her face standing in front of my bed. That just sounds like The Ring or The Grudge or something. I've also had numerous astral projection style experiences. 2023, I was asleep laying in bed and couldn't move, and there were 8 tall demons in black robes holding candles standing around my bed. 2023, I was being strangled by a faceless male demon with blonde hair, a watch, a blue button up shirt, slacks. Hold on, my husband's calling. He was calling me to ask what I wanted for dinner. I was like, do you just maybe want chicken? He was like, I think I want to grill today. I'm like, why does that matter? He's like, well, it's Memorial Day. And I'm like, why does that matter? Like, no disrespect to anyone who celebrates it, but like, I don't know. I guess I didn't see the point because I don't celebrate and it's not something his culture celebrates, but like he is American. And I was like, why? Like, what is so important about it? Because I actually want to know instead of like trying to dissuade him not to. And he was just like, I don't know. I just want to. Or it's what the other Americans do. And I was like, okay, do what you want. Like, I mean, it's what he wants to do, so he can do it. Okay. It's not like it hurts anyone. That was the second option. I said, do you want pizza or do you want chicken? Because we have little personal pizzas that I could make, or we could have chicken. Again, because we've been eating honey chicken like crazy, which maybe we shouldn't do because of the like shortage of poultry, but whatever. Excuse me. He did not choose pizza. You can keep saying pizza if you want to, but you're not going to change his mind, so. It's all pepperoni, too. Every single pizza's pepperoni. Technically, he bought them for me, but I don't mind sharing, and as long as it's meat, he'll eat it. Literally, as long as it has meat on it, he will eat it. So he doesn't even care that it's like the meat that I picked out. Although, technically, I don't think you can eat pepperoni because I think they're usually made from pork. So, like, you wouldn't be able to share it with me anyway, even if you were here. I mean, I don't know how stringent the guidelines are. You might be able to pick the pepperoni off and just eat the cheese. But, it's pepperoni. Because obviously I wouldn't want you to, like, walk in not knowing it's pepperoni and do something against your beliefs. But if you're one of the people who's a little less stringent and is like, I can just pick the meat off and eat the cheese pizza underneath, then, like, there's that. Okay. Because I know some people are really strict about their level of, like, observance for, like, Judaism and Islam. And they're like, well, it's been in proximity to pork, so I can't eat it. You know, kind of thing. Like, obviously, I wouldn't want them to eat pork, but some people are like, well, it's been in proximity, so I still can't eat it. Like, I wouldn't want someone to just, like, be hungry if they came over, you know? I think the only kosher slash halal, potentially kosher or halal option for those pizzas would be I think the only option is where it's just cheese. I think. Because I know that there's a combination pizza with 2 meats. No, combination pizza has 3 meats. It has sausage, ham, and pepperoni, I think. And then there's one that's, there's a different flavor too, but it also just has like 2 meats. I don't know. I feel like half their flavors contain pepperoni. Look, I'm trying to be considerate. I don't want someone to like come over and be hungry because they can't eat my food and I didn't know it. Like, I want to make sure if someone is expecting to eat with me that they can actually eat food. Like, I feel like it's rude to invite someone over and then, like, not have food for them. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is it a southern thing? I always feel like such a, like, grandmother, too. Because, like, when people come over, I'm always like, hey, you want a snack? You want to take this with you? Like, one of my friends came over to drop something off, and like some old grandmother, I went to the pantry, got a pudding cup, and then came back and put it in his hand. Like, here you go. And I gave him some Pocky to take to his kid, too. I was like, here you go. I don't know if that's a southern thing or what. Yo, that last person's story was a little intense, though. I don't know why he always has weird-ass experiences with spirits. Like, Ooh, I love mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese. But he doesn't want that. I mean, I suppose I could make mac and cheese to eat with the meat, but he is determined to have steak today. He wants to grill, so that's what he's going to do. Oh, look, here's one from 20 hours ago labeled I was pushed from behind. It's one paragraph long. What's this? STL. Maybe they just spelled. No. STLVET guy 01. Because at first I thought it was Stevie, but then I reread it twice and it's not Stevie. It's not. Even if that was a capital I instead of an L, it would still be Slevet. Huh? Ah. How you doing? I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize at first that it was a holiday today, so I was like, why are they not taking the trash out? I was like, they still haven't come, and I went to check it to see if I missed it, and the bins were still full. Yeah, I didn't realize it first. I was like, is today a holiday? And I checked the calendar, and it's Memorial Day. And somehow I just didn't realize before I checked. I don't know why. I like fish too. He also likes fish. When we get salmon, we tend to get it like pre-packaged, but if we get tilapia, we tend to get it fresh. As in, like, so fresh it was looking at me before I brought it home. So, there's a partial live market that we can go to within like a reasonable distance. It's not like right next to us, obviously, but I think anything within an hour of travel is a reasonable distance. So it's within a reasonable distance. So we can just go there, say, and like, I want that one. And the guy's like, this one? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And he'll take it and he'll obviously put the poor thing out of its misery so it's not terrified the entire way home. Um, yeah, they stun it first to make sure it's not conscious and doesn't feel any pain. Um, and then, of course, they ask, like, things like, do you want the head and do you want us to take the insides out for you? Are you asking me if I like squid or if they have squid? I love squid. I don't know if they... well, I don't know if they sell it live. They may actually sell it, but I don't know if it's live. I know they sell, like, crabs and lobsters live, and there are a few other fish they sell live. And they have, like, clams and different things that they sell live. Hey, honey. Oh, yes, I've tried squid. Jesus Christ, babe, what are you doing? Left what on the bottom? Oh. Why'd you leave it in the sink? So I've tried, I've had squid, I've had octopus, I've had jellyfish. I actually really liked the jellyfish, like the way it was made. Yeah. You don't remember? Your mom made it one time? Yeah, I've had jellyfish before too. Mm. Yeah. I mean, it's not the weirdest thing someone in my family has tried. And I say weird is subjective because different cultures eat different things. Like, there are cultures and religions where you're not supposed to eat beef because you're not supposed to eat it. Same way some cultures and religions say you're not supposed to eat pork. Like, what is weird or taboo is, like, very subjective. But anyway, from our perspective, this weirdest thing our family has eaten is my grandparents once tried bat meat, which honestly was kind of low-key dangerous because bats are a reservoir for a lot of diseases. But they tried bat meat. And this wasn't any time recent. This was like... not me looking like the Geometry Woman meme doing the math in my head. This was like the 40s or 50s, okay? This was a long-ass time ago. This wasn't anything recent with the, like, SARS issues. You know, this was a long-ass time ago because they were born in the 20s. And yes, you can eat jellyfish. That doesn't mean you can eat every single kind of jellyfish. I don't actually know what kind it was, but it was really good. It was really good. Well, I liked it anyway. Do you know what kind of jellyfish it was? My husband just said edible. Yeah, there's lots of things you can eat. You can actually eat snakes and turtles. Most people just don't. You have? Huh. My husband says he actually has eaten snakes and turtles. I haven't. I've never tried. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can eat. I feel like people think you eat like, depending on your culture, they think you eat like beef, pork, and chicken, and occasionally turkey. Or some people eat lamb and goat meat instead of like beef or pork because they can't have that, obviously. Um, but yeah, like he's in and out because he's cooking the meat outside. He's dead ass got there's like a specific type of wood he gets for this that he puts inside. Um and it smells really good and the smoke that it makes helps flavor the meat. So he's cooking right now. He's doing the meat and then I'll do the vegetable. Well, presumably we will have, let's see. We'll probably have a mixture of cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots, along with some mashed potatoes. I liked lamb meat the 2 times I tried it as well because there is, well, technically there are several, quote, Mediterranean places. I don't know why they make it sound like it's only Mediterranean people who eat that when I know for a fact that there are various, like, Middle Eastern and Asian people who eat it too, but it's whatever. Anyway, yes, what is the wildest thing I've had? I don't really know. Because I didn't think jellyfish was weird, but I've had, like I said, squid, octopus, jellyfish, salmon, tilapia, lobster, crab, shrimp, oyster, clam, um, hmm. I've had turkey, chicken, um, beef, pork. What else have I had? I swear to God, I've had something else, but I like can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. I did try lamb. I don't remember if I tried goat meat, but I've tried goat milk and cheese. And that was good. Definitely easier for me to handle since I'm lactose intolerant. Honestly, you should be excited. Holidays are always fun. I really want to see what this I was pushed from behind said. But yeah, you should be excited because it seems like everyone always has a lot of fun with that holiday. So, is what the same? I didn't actually get to read the one from earlier because we started talking about something, if that's what you mean. Or if you're asking about something I said about food. Or you might be talking about the holiday. I don't really know. No, goat and lamb are different. You didn't know that? No! Are there pictures I can send? Okay, hold up. My character's gonna be like, treading water for a second as I pull up pictures of something to send you because, I feel like I need to clear this up immediately. Lambs and sheep, because I want to get a good picture of it. Ow. I think maybe you're thinking about lambs and sheep because lambs are like baby sheep. Um, so technically when you have lamb, you're specifically eating the baby. Let me... Yeah, I didn't know you didn't know the difference, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the picture. Uh, I feel like I'm going to have to rename this channel again. Yeah, That's a sheep, and the little thing is the lamb. So when you have lamb meat, you're specifically eating a baby sheep. Yep. And a baby goat is called a kid, hilariously enough. Goat. I wonder if I say goat and kid, if it'll actually bring... Yeah, here we go. Save image, and then goat and sheep side by side, just so you can see the difference. Just because, like, I want it to be visible, obviously. So they're both from the same family group, Bovidae, and subfamily Caprinae, but they split at the genus level. So it's kind of like they're related animals, but they are not the same animal. Does that make sense? For Magic Cat. Why are you afraid of goats? Is it because of that association some people have, thinking that goats are associated with the devil somehow? Because that's not true. It's just an animal. Oh, you're afraid of getting gored. Okay, that's valid. Hides in the corner? No. But yeah, like, some people don't understand that, like, eating veal or eating lamb or even eating eggs, it's like y'all are eating babies. Did you not know? Like, as a species, we're kind of terrible if you didn't know. Like, yes, there are specific dishes where we purposely eat the young of a species. Like, did y'all not know that? That's the reason some people are against eating meat. I personally eat meat, so I'm not here to preach to you about the evils of meat. I'm just saying that is what has some people not eating it. Because of the baby animals. Anyway. What do you mean goats look sus? What does that mean? What? How does a goat look sus? It's just a goat. I love the weird stuff that comes up on stream. You're like, that goat looks sus. What? What? It is not sus. My husband came in and said it is sus. Also, Magic Cat says hi. Hello. Can you hear him? Did you hear him? I hope you heard him. Because he was really loud, and I'm just cringing at the level he would have to scream for you to hear him if you didn't hear him. Oh, creepy eyes. Yeah, that's the reason my friend doesn't like goats, too. That makes sense. But yeah, dang, I never actually read that post because we had to talk about the difference between goats and sheep because you didn't know! To summarize, yes, those are in fact two different animals. Not to shame anyone, but Magic Cat didn't know the difference between goats and sheep, so I had to explain it. That's why we didn't actually get to cover the topic we were trying to cover, because I was sitting here explaining they're different and then sending pictures to prove that they're different. I'm explaining to my husband how we got on this topic. I'm not shading you or anyone else. I'm just like, this is why we're doing this. I am not... Okay, maybe I'm an asshole, but not for that reason. Magic Cat said, "Sir, come get your wife." You're both traitors. What do you mean you know who the real fans are? I'm gonna cry. He's just laughing. Mean. Anyway, the story was I was pushed from behind. Our family lived in an old house and I was home alone, or so I thought. So I thought, okay. I was in the kitchen getting something to eat when I heard a loud noise in the basement. My dad liked to work on wood projects and had all the tools to repair and build. I opened the basement door and called for him. The lights were off and it seemed strange. I felt a cold rush of air brush past me. My hand was on the handrail when I felt that something was trying to push me. I felt the pressure on my arm and the cold air persisted as quickly as it arrived. It departed. My body was shaking because it felt like I had been in a fight. Really? Wow. We had a few more experiences with that door to the basement of which I'll always remember. See, it's very short. That was it. Like, what? So the ghost tried to kill you? Bro, that's rude. Throw out the whole spirit. Throw out the whole ghost. Screw that. Trying to push you down the damn steps. As if it's their house and not yours. Banish them. Banish them! There are so many different, like, banishing powders or banishing liquids that they could use. I mean, be mindful of your flooring and walls, I guess, but... Jesus Christ, really? It tried to push them down the stairs? Banish that bitch. Can you get an invite to eat steak? Aw. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll make it in time, but I suppose you can have digital steak. Huh? He's holding the door open asking if I smell it. Yes, I smell it. If you were here, then yes. If you were here, yes. But you're not here, so. Yeah. Sounds like mom. But yeah, he's cooking it outside. Obviously. I don't think anyone is supposed to be grilling inside. Well, yeah, like, technically it's on an enclosed patio, but it's still also technically outside. Like, you're not doing it in here. You know? It's a screen, not a wall, so the smoke can go through it instead of being trapped and hotboxing the whole place. Oh, it smells really good. It's really strong now. I can still smell it. Was that part of your evil master plan? Make me suffer by making me smell the good stuff before I can have anything? Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. Sorry. I would have muted myself if I'd known before it happened, but it just kind of leapt out of me. Yeah, my body was being disobedient. It did something I didn't tell it to do. What? In what way? No, I'm not. Ayah. Of course I called my body out. It wasn't doing what I told it to. I love you. Someone trying to see if you smell their food must be a universal experience. Ah, fuck. Interesting. Hold on. It was a baby and I was scared. That's how scared of goats I am. What? Oh, I missed the first part. That's why. Hold on, hold on. I don't know what I did. Wait, what? I don't know what I did pet or what if it was a goat or sheep, but I can tell you I was scared. I'm confused. Why were you afraid? Did it do something to you? Also, I was silent because I was looking up something to like. I didn't want to be inaccurate. I'm trying to figure out. So there's a spirit that's specifically an indigenous spirit. And to be even more specific, it has to do with like folklore of plains and Great Lakes natives, as well as some First Nations people in Canada. So it's a very specific spirit. And I was like, who in the world is, you know, who is mentioning it? Like, are they indigenous? Hold on. Well, there are some spirits where, like, you're not even supposed to, which is why it's so dangerous for other people from random cultures, especially Europeans, to just, like, start talking about these things. Because, like, in the original culture, you're not supposed to say their name because you, like, don't want to attract their attention. You don't want them to know you're talking about them. You don't want them to know that you're aware of them, stuff like that. Anyway, someone posted about one of these spirits, and I was like, and, well, they labeled it as cryptid too, which makes me think they're not a First Nations or Native American or indigenous. Because, like, I feel like even when it's not a part of your culture, you, like, know not to talk about it like that because you know spirits like that exist. I'm just like, I don't think you're not, are you? No, I don't think you are. The fact that they didn't censor the word also lends me to this. Yeah, that bothers me. Too Long didn't read as they saw a pale, emaciated humanoid creature. Which I feel like would freak out anyone. I don't know why they specifically called it the name of that indigenous spirit, though. That's a little weird. Yeah, that's a little weird, bro. Not gonna lie. That's a little weird. Hmm. A weird experience with friends. See, that sounds weird itself. That's funny. How do I Hold on. Scared of goats and thought it would hit you? Hold on. Managed to pet it and feed it before he got taken to be made into food. Ah, that's funny. Oh, so this isn't really like weird or out there, but I have eaten like duck meat and I've eaten goose eggs, duck eggs. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was duck eggs. And obviously I've had duck meat. Cats are meowing, but it's almost 3 a.m. I mean, to be fair, cats vocalize a lot. Sometimes it's to get your attention, and sometimes they just vocalize because they're playing, or they want to be reassured by your presence. Sometimes they're just bored. It doesn't mean anything supernatural is going on. Like, obviously, for some people it could, but 99% of the time, it's honestly innocent. I mean, my cats make noise all the time, but that's because they're usually like play fighting and chasing each other, or they get lost and want to find me, or they like need reassurance from me, so they like call out for me. So they call out for me a lot, but they also like, play, including play fighting. Yeah. Wait, are they not in your room? I'm confused. Do you leave your cats outside? Mine live inside with me. It's probably just a cultural difference, honestly. Unless you mean they're inside the house but outside your room. My cats are so active during the night sometimes that it's irritating, but I love them to death. And I would absolutely probably maim someone if they tried to hurt my cats. Or worse, honestly. If you come in just to kill my cat, you're gonna get fucked up. I'm just saying. 100%. That's my family member. Something about how it's sus. Well, I wish it showed me more than one message at a time. In the living room, so it's sus. LOL. I mean, even if there was something going on, that doesn't mean it's supernatural because there are cats who have literally scared off and or attacked burglars. So, I don't know how often break-ins happen in your country, but there are stories that have been in the news over here of cats that have bitten and scratched intruders, or they just started crying because there was an intruder. So, like, not to scare you, I'm just saying not everything is a ghost or a demon or some spirit of indeterminate nature. Well, yeah, but we're talking about your cats, not your dogs. Trying to check under your door. Okay. I mean, whatever makes you feel safe. I probably shouldn't read the one where they had a weird experience with their friends. I mean, to be fair, they're talking about an abandoned building instead of their house. Their little jingle bell. Aww. I mean, technically, I've always felt very safe having cats as far as, like, spirit fuckery because, like, obviously because of, like, Egyptian mythology, all cats are associated with, you know, the cat goddess, and she can see through their eyes, and she herself is supposed to be, like, the quote-unquote eye of, like, the god that smites evil, so anywhere a cat sees, they can basically snitch on spirits that, like, are someplace they aren't supposed to be. So cats in that way kind of ward off evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a god that smites evil. There's a goddess that's considered to be one of his eyes, quote unquote. And cats, she can see through cats' eyes. So it's like, you know? It's basically like there's a straight pipeline to the god that smites evil, so you're fine. Because they'll snitch, and the spirit will get smote. Smited? Smitten? Whatever. Just wants attention. I told you, sometimes cats just want attention. They can be very needy. People think that cats are cold, but cats are actually very needy. Like, well, I guess it depends on the cat, because instead of being universally needy like dogs, they're like people, so some of them are fine by themselves and some of them are, like, exceptionally clingy. Both of my boys oscillate between being exceptionally clingy and acting like we've never met. I kind of love it because it means when I want time to myself, they're not bothering me. Because the thing about dogs is they kind of don't leave you the fuck alone and they're always there. But a cat is, like, self-aware and situationally aware enough to be like, you know what? You need time alone. I need time alone. I'll see you in an hour. That's why I like cats. Someone tell him it's 3 a.m. and he needs to stay next to the other cat. I mean, do y'all not allow your cats to, like, stay in your bedrooms or sleep on your bed? Just bring them in with you if that's allowed. Like, what? I'm confused. Because I thought you said it was only dogs that couldn't come inside, so why does it matter? Like, I don't know. I'm confused. Jesus Christ, someone posted a post that said something started choking me. Okay then. Stop. LMAO! I'm surprised you even know that word. I'm sorry, but I tend to assume that really religious people of certain faiths are somewhat sheltered for things like that, so I didn't even know you knew that word. Do you know what that means? I might read that then, if you're not, like, offended by it or what I just said. It's from 14 hours ago. You know freaky shit. We love to see it. It's by user Jazz Rods from 14 hours ago. It's listed as a question, but the title literally just says, quote, something started choking me. So I don't know what the question is in this. Like, are you not sure you were being choked? Are you wondering what it was? Like, this is not phrased as a question, my friend. So this happened 2 nights ago. I was spending the night at my boyfriend's apartment. When we lay down to sleep, I turned off the lights and there was complete darkness in the room, as is usual for most people. A minute later, my boyfriend was already falling asleep, but I felt someone moving around the room. They started coming toward me, and then I heard the curtains move a little bit. I got scared, but I didn't want to wake up my boyfriend because I thought that it was just in my head. But the person started coming closer to me, and at one point, I saw a full face of a person being right in front of me, so I went with my hand to touch it to see if it's real. What the hell? Why would you touch it? And I couldn't feel anything with my hand, but I was still able to see a face that was getting closer and closer and wanted to start. How do you know it wanted to choke you? Like, babe, do you have some kind of fetish for this? Why would you assume it wanted to do that and want to start choking? At that point, I moved closer to my boyfriend because I was so scared, and I closed my eyes, not able to see the face again. After some time, I opened my eyes and the face wasn't there anymore. I deadass thought that they were going to say, I opened my eyes and the face was right in front of me, but no, it wasn't there. The exact same scenario happened to me maybe 2 to 3 months ago, and also once when I was spending the night alone at my boyfriend's place. In general, I don't like spending time alone in his room, napping with closed doors, because I always feel the presence of something. Having in mind that it's a new building and he's the first person to live in the apartment, I don't know what it could be. I'm gonna stop OP right there, even though there's a like 4 sentences left, because I have to say, just because the building is new does not mean that there was not something that either something that happened on the land before or some other structure on the land. Like, just saying, oh, the building was new, like, sweetie, you don't know what was there before. There could have been a house, an apartment complex that wasn't this one, a hotel. It could have just been a park. But literally, just because the building is new does not mean the land is new. No land is new. All land comes with history. Even if a building is new, the land is not new. So, of course, something could have happened on the land that you didn't know about. That's what I feel like is happening. Anyway, what's the rest of what OP said? Just to mention, I had some experience in the past in my own home where a punching bag started to move in my room with all of the windows closed. The drawer would open on its own. I would hear steps coming from the attic. Random things would disappear from my room and show back up after some time. I'm so lost. Anyone have an opinion on what it could be? I mean, either you're haunted by a very active spirit or there was someone living in your attic. And I don't know which is scarier for you. My husband helpfully said turtle butts. I don't know how that's related, but he came by and shared that sage advice with us. That's what I thought. I was like, I have 3 thoughts about this. First of all, sweetheart, just because nothing happened in this building because the building is new doesn't mean there wasn't something there before. I don't know how many times I've seen old buildings, restaurants, hotels, movie theaters, apartment complexes, houses get torn down and something else built on top. Cemeteries, parks, anything. Second thing is, if it's happened other places, it could definitely be something that's following her. It could be haunting her or an item she owns instead of a place she's at. And then the third thing, what was the third thing? I had a third thing I was going to say too. Oh, I think the third thing was literally just the instances at her own house could have been attributed to someone living in the attic or the basement or the walls or something. But if weird stuff happens wherever she goes and she's seen apparitions that are not physical, then I suppose it's probably some kind of spirit. Now, whether it's trying to kill her or whether it has a weird fetish that it is not expressing well and is not listening to her boundaries, I don't know. But either way, she needs to... she needs to do something about this. But yeah, Magic Cat, you're right. If it's happening across multiple locations, either they both live in a place that's haunted or something is following her around. For real. Strange incident in the anatomy lab. What? What on earth? Okay, so a medical student. Right. I'm just skimming because, like, I don't want to see any surprises. Hold on. That one might be a little too creepy. I understand why that place might be haunted because they said they have cadavers there. I'm like, yeah, I can see why a medical lab or a university might be haunted specifically because of that. Because you have people's corpses there. Like, hello? Yeah. Okay, anyway, I might as well read it. We're already here. Med throwaway man. Oh, maybe it's a throwaway account? 2 days ago. Strange incident in the anatomy lab. Just to preface the story, I'm a second-year medical student and an anatomy tutor for first years, okay? I've been thinking of this on and off for the past couple of months, and I felt I just had to write it down for some sort of closure. Jesus Christ. The way tutoring works at my SOM is that I'm kind of on call on certain days to help students learn structures and clinical correlations on the cadavers in our lab for their practical exams, okay? Usually it's a group of students wanting to get some last minute pointers, which is cool and pretty chill. However, on this day, I was emailed by a student I had tutored pretty often in the past. Super nice guy. He wanted to do a full run through of all the structures being tested for on their last exam. I said sure, and he set a time for 9. Another quick point, our anatomy lab is pretty large. We have about 25 cadavers that are in separate submersion tanks to help them preserve. Oh my god. Even if it wasn't haunted, this place would be super creepy. You just keep expired people in tanks? Super creepy. Anyway, the tanks have a built-in table that is submersed with a cadaver, so you can just pull up the table when you need to dissect or study and lower the table back down when you're done with it. I feel like that's creepy even if there's no ghost involved. That's just creepy. Anyway, me and my colleague get to the lab and he has a quick prayer before we go in. Oh. When we go in the lab and one of the cadavers is just out of the tank without faculty or student in the room, huge no-no, very disrespectful and deserving of disciplinary action. It's just something that doesn't happen. Huh, okay. We go over to the cadaver and lower her back into the tank. Why does this make me think of that one horror movie that's like The Case of Jane Doe or something? Anyway. I'm hit with this overwhelming decomposition smell. This smell was so bad it caused my colleague to gag. It was so strange because the lab is usually well ventilated and the fixatives within the tank should somewhat halt decomposition. We eventually gather ourselves and go to the tank across from the one that was open even though the smell persisted. We opened the tank and what I saw had been playing in my mind over and over tonight. The cadaver was sitting, not lying down, sitting in the middle of the table in the fixative. I just don't know what to think at this point, and my colleague was visibly panicked by this. We tried to lay the cadaver back down, but the hips were rigored. Oh. So I don't know if you know about rigor mortis, but basically there's a point after you expire where your body just kind of locks up and becomes stiff and fixed in a certain position, and it does eventually fade, but while rigor is happening, you cannot take the body out of that pose without breaking or ripping parts of it. So the hips are rigored, meaning they literally can't take it out of this pose. It's stuck in this pose. We eventually were able to do it, but after that we left. After that, everything just felt off. A couple days later, we went back and didn't mention it. I just can't find an explanation for it, except maybe some other students were super careless with the cadavers. It's just a collection of weird moments. Sorry if it seems like I was rambling because it's late. Well, Magic Cat said it best. Oh, hell no. Admittedly, text-based communication does not quite deliver the same tone, but that's the vibe. Oh, hell no. Like, yeah, there could be an innocent, if careless, explanation, but really, there's just this random body that's just out on the table, and seemingly there's no one who's responsible, or at least no one who's taking responsibility and is in sight. And then the other body just happens to be posed. Even if there isn't some kind of weird hinky spirit stuff involved, one of the people they work with has to be so creepy and weird that they were messing around with the bodies. Like, that's messed up either way. It doesn't even matter if they're haunted, because that means they work with some kind of like psychopath or something. Like, dude, I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this. Anyway, what did you say, Magic Cat? Somehow I felt more comfortable with the kinky ghost. That's hilarious! But really, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like you're right. I feel like it's worse that it's almost worse that it's more likely a person was doing weird stuff with the bodies. Like, where's the ghost? I prefer the ghost. I don't know how to feel about this. Okay. The Hat Man. You know, this isn't the first post I've seen about a man in a top hat. Of course, I've heard, like, I've heard about ghosts with a different kind of hat, but literally the one underneath it says, Hat Man in the window. Smells good. I deadass thought you were about to whack me with something. That's why I moved away. It smells really good. Sorry. I guess you don't want to hear about the Hat Man. Okay. Hat Man. Fine, I'll read this instead. It's super short. Something grabbed my arm. Hilariously, it's posted by CatLover93. Aw, they were thinking of you. I'm kidding. It's a paragraph long. They said they don't know if it was just the wind. I mean, to be fair, the wind and the sensation of someone wrapping their entire hand around your arm feel very different, because I have felt both, and I can in fact testify that those are not the same sensation. Yeah, exactly. Grab my arm, babe. Yeah, no. That feels very different. Yeah, that is not the same sensation. Something grabbed you, fam. Okay, so they were not at home, so I hope that makes you feel better. Too long didn't read version, even though it's only a paragraph long. Basically, they were at work. Oh, looks like they're a security guard. They were at work, and it felt like someone grabbed their arm. They said at first they were convinced it was a gust of wind. But I'm like, no, because the wind that feels different. I don't know how people who don't believe in the paranormal are like, oh, it's just the wind. Like, have you never felt someone grab you? Like, a real person, you know, like your parents, your siblings, your cousins, your whatever. Like, no one's ever touched your arm. Do you not know what that feels like? That's a very different feeling than the wind, quotes. Why the fuck does everyone say it was just the wind? It was not the wind! The wind does not have hands! I know what it feels like to have someone wrap their hand around my arm or a part of my body, and that is not the wind. What? I love how right underneath it says, ghosts are just a strong gust of wind. I kind of want to see if these experiences are similar. Okay, so let's see. Hi, today I was checking a building out for the first time in my new job as a security guard, and I have checkpoints that I need to scan around the building to verify I was there. One of those checkpoints is hidden far back where there are no windows, no exits, and no lights. Only my flashlight. Okay, so the area is already creepy, even without ghosts. No windows and no doors means it couldn't possibly be a draft. Why is it pomegranate? It's the first word I thought of. We can change it if you want. I'm sorry. I'm sure pomegranate is a weird safe word, but it was literally the first word that came to mind, and I never actually say it. Like I can't remember talking about pomegranates literally within the last decade, except for the one time. Okay, I remember three separate times. Two of them were about Hades and Persephone, and one of them was a college friend offering to eat pomegranates with me. I never talk about pomegranates. Hence why it came up as a, if this is too spooky for you, tune out until I type the word pomegranate. Hold on. When I was looking for the checkpoint, I felt something grab my arm. It was just like a fast gust of wind that felt cold, but in just one specific part of my hand, and just lasted a second. I ran straight for the exit, panicking. I know this is not just wind and was wondering if anyone has felt this kind of grab around the hand. So, I've never been grabbed around the hand. I already forgot the OP's name. Cat lover. I've never been grabbed around the hand, but I did feel what I believe is a spirit. I did feel a spirit touch me, but it did not grab me. And I will say that a gust of wind and someone putting their hand around a part of your body, you know, your arm, your leg, your neck, that feels very different from the wind, quote. You love pomegranate juice? Oh, good. So there's a similar post, Is It a Ghost or Just the Wind, by Jubilant Ooh Woo? Jubilant Ooh Woo, I love that. 2 days ago. One day I was sitting in the living room while my dad was cooking in the kitchen. Usually when my dad cooked, he opens the back door and the sliding screen door in the living room because it would get foggy. I guess they mean like smoky? The back door and the sliding door were on opposite ends of the small apartment we live in at the time. I was sitting on the couch when all of a sudden there was a really strong wind that flew past me coming from the sliding door. It was around Christmas time and we had the tree up, and whatever flew past me shook the tree and went out towards the back door, and it was strong enough to slam it shut. I don't know what it was, but it didn't feel like a typical strong gust of wind. I don't think it would have been strong enough to shake a Christmas tree and slam a door shut. Any thoughts? Technically, the wind can get strong enough to do that, but the type of winds that are strong enough to really pick up objects and like do specific things with them, it's like tornadoes, hurricanes, or at least a storm of some kind, a thunderstorm with wind. Like, regular wind is not typically strong enough to just shake objects in your house or pick them up. Like, not gonna lie. Is it technically strong enough to slam a door? Yes. Even a not very strong wind, if the door is not heavy or weighted and there's nothing keeping it open, it could close the door. But the fact that it shook your tree makes me think it's not a wind. Because, like I said, yes, there are winds that are strong enough to pick up cars and rip houses off their foundations. But that's typically with, like, thunderstorms, windstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes. That is not just the wind as it is. So, I have mixed feelings. I would have said it was the wind if it hadn't fucking started shaking his tree like that. That's a little weird. Has anyone here been scratched? What the fuck? So there's a too long didn't read at the top. Have you or someone you know been scratched or injured by a demon? What the fuck? Or possibly related, but maybe not, seen and interacted with magical floating water. What? No? Anyway, it's by Heartburb from 2 days ago. A few years ago, my young son was mysteriously scratched by something. A little chunk of skin measuring a few millimeters was gone from his skin, and it bled a little. He said it felt like he was hit with something small and sharp, like the size of a popcorn kernel. It reminded me of a pinpoint cat scratch, but bigger. He felt cold wind blow on him when it happened. I came into the room right after it happened to find him scared. I couldn't find anything around him or on his person at all that could have caused this. So, like, no toys, no floorboards, walls, nails, etc. Though he wasn't prone to lying, he was going through some mental health struggles due to stress from everything surrounding the plague. This happened a few years ago. I examined his nails to see if he might have done it himself. His nails were short and smooth and didn't seem able to make that kind of mark. Presumably there's also no, like, blood under his nails, because I feel like they would have mentioned that. close to that time, he also spotted something or someone black through the top of the fence in the backyard, in addition to other weird things like non-scary floating water that changed shape when he reached out and touched it. Hold on. Okay. These things would always disappear if my husband or I came in. Now, I have personally witnessed a lot of definite demonic activity in the past, most of which when I was a child in a house with an, unbeknownst to me at the time, history of witchcraft and heavy partying. I mean, just because someone's a witch doesn't mean they're communing with demons. Y'all need to get off this demon shit. Like, just because someone's a witch doesn't mean they're, like, passionately hugging Satan. Anyway, this is different than the more obvious things I have experienced. I definitely sensed a dark spiritual feeling when I came into the room with him. But I'm not quite sure what happened. I brought it up to both my therapist as well as the child psychologist that we got for our son. They both actually thought it was spiritual in nature, not psychological. Really? That's refreshing, actually, because usually people try to say you're crazy, or you imagined it, or you're just tired, or it's carbon monoxide, or whatever. But they're like, no, actually, that seems like a ghost, demon, whatever. I was like, huh? Really? Anyway. Sorry. Had an extended reaction there. Also of note, my husband and I are devout Christians and took measures to ensure it doesn't happen again. We sought advice from trusted pastor friends who were unsure if it might be self-caused, but seemed to think the same thing as my husband and I. We know that he was in a more psychologically and spiritually susceptible state at the time. We think there are aspects of both, but ultimately still have unanswered questions. So my question is just if anyone here has ever had experiences with being scratched by a demon or dark presence, or the weird floating water thing. I can't say I've ever had an experience with a demon that I know of. I have had experiences with malevolent or malicious spirits, or at least spirits who have a lot of negative emotions, but not with a demon specifically. Because like I said, I feel like demons, like 90 to 99% of the time, just do not have time for our shit. Like, I just feel like they have their own shit to run and they're not thinking about us. I feel like they have better shit to do, basically, than prank us and make us feel scared. I'm just saying. Like, if I were a demon, I can't imagine wasting all my free time on humans when I could be doing something I actually found enjoy. And hold on. Doing something that actually brought me joy. Let's just, since I'm having trouble with English right now, let's say it that way. But yeah, like you said, Magic, it definitely sounds like he could have been attacked by something, especially if there's no skin or blood under his nails, and there's no, like, toys or weapons or tools or, I don't know, floorboards, doorways, whatever that he could have hurt himself on. And there's obviously, like, nothing in the room that has his blood or skin on it. So obviously it doesn't sound like he hurt himself. And, well, if his parents didn't do it, then who did? Because they're there alone with him. They don't have if they have a pet, it wasn't around him, because they didn't mention that. So, who did it? The fucking Easter Bunny? Like, clearly someone did it. So, yeah, like you said, sounds like they are, unwanted there. I don't know what you mean. I guess you mean, like, sounds like a spirit does not want them in that place, I guess. Or at least, like, something wants to hurt him. This is what I'm saying in those stories where people are like, I don't know if the spirit wants to hurt me. Like, babe, if the spirit wanted to hurt you, it doesn't need to fine, wine, and dine you to, like, hurt you. 99% of the time, if a spirit really just wants to hurt you, they're not gonna, most of them are not even gonna bother with a ruse. They're just gonna hurt you. Then, like, unless it's the type of spirit that wants to use a ruse or likes to play with its food or whatever, if they're gonna hurt you, you would have already been hurt. Like, I hear all these people who are like, I've been haunted for 20 years and I don't know if the spirit wants to hurt me. Like, babe, it had 20 years to hurt you. There is no ruse in the world that takes 20 years to pull off. Clearly, this spirit does not want to hurt you. It has been 2 decades. But this spirit went for the throat as soon as it saw this kid, so clearly that's a malicious spirit that wants to do harm to the living, to people. So, yes, poor child. Exactly. And there's always a difference between a spirit that's outright malicious or malevolent and a spirit that is just mischievous and playful. Because I definitely did deal with, I mean, unless it was, no, I don't think, no. Dude, the food smells so good. Oh, crap. I forgot to make the potatoes. Eh. Give me 5 minutes to make the potatoes, eh? Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, like some spirits, kind of like when your cat accidentally smacks you too hard because they don't know how to be gentle. Some spirits can accidentally hurt you and they're just trying to play with you. But there's a difference between something that's clearly just intending to play and something that is like trying to murder you. But yeah, give me like 5 minutes. Yeah, I want to say 5 minutes. All right. Okay. So in GL, I'm like slightly cheating by using a steamer bag of vegetables and instant potatoes, but well, it's fine. Tent blanket angel? You look happier? Anyway, I just had to go run and start that food. Jeez. That one where they think a demon scratched their kid was kind of intense. Feels like a loud scream right behind my ear when I sleep. This is literally like 5 sentences long. Who wrote it? Cine Desi? 1 day ago. Okay. I wake up hearing it in the middle of the night. Nothing unusual happens during the day, but this screaming thing has happened thrice. I love that they said thrice instead of 3 times. I feel like that's such an underused word. Where did I see it? Could be a dream, I'm not sure. Happens every time right behind my ear. It's such a loud scream. Last time I literally stood up and ran out of the room without even thinking of anything and slept on the sofa outside. Is it bad that the only thing I thought of was a banshee? Hey, sweetheart. Ooh, it smells and looks good. Mmm. He grilled the meat. The meat is done. The water for the potatoes is heating and the vegetables are mostly fine. Yes. Okay. Who does? Me? I have a long name, or the person on Reddit had a long name? I don't know what that's a reaction to. Oh, thanks, I guess? That's funny. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna, like, dox myself on stream, but my legal name's actually pretty long, too. Well, technically, I think it's longer. LOL. Also, I feel like it's the whitest thing ever, and I'm not even white. It's kind of funny. You're gonna take meat to your friend tomorrow? Okay. Wow, this one doesn't want to be caught. Swims faster. So what were you doing? What were the little angel teddy bears for? Did you go watch something wholesome to combat the spooky? This is honestly probably a lobster or a clam, and it is just not having it with me, is it? Shut up. Just to pass the time. Okay, well, it's not like I took that long. Let's see. Playful spirit at my old workplace. I love that the username is do conflict. Can you swim after the sea creature while I get the potatoes? Just, you see where the water is disturbed? Yeah. When you dive down, there should be a little circle. Just grab it, or try to. It's kind of fast. Da, 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 da. Ow! That was just a little hot. Don't think I actually burned myself, though. System of cooking by having instant mashed potatoes. I mean, we probably could make mashed potatoes from scratch because my always did, but do we? No, we don't. We really don't. I won't even lie. We don't do that. Yeah, she would literally wash, peel, and she would add like salt and pepper and butter. I who also put a little bit of milk in her potatoes. Like, yes, technically I know how to make potatoes. It's just a lot of work, and this is a lot easier. Also, you know everyone in America is lazy to some extent, even though there's a lot of hard workers here. Everyone, no one has energy to cook when they get home, so they take shortcuts in how they eat. Of course, since I stay at home, it's not like I have to come home tired. Cool. Vegetables are done. Potatoes are done. Meat is grilled. Did you get it, babe? It can be kind of difficult.
Yay, how do you...
Your cat scared you? How?
Yeah, it's a lobster.
It's a lobster? Hey! Thank you, baby.
Oh, I'm weird out.
He caught a lobster for me. The potatoes are done. How long is the meat supposed to sit? 3 minutes, okay. So the potatoes would be set by then anyway. I'm sorry you almost had a heart attack. What scared you that badly? My husband's mean to me. He said your face. But like in reference to me. He's playing at 3 a.m. Yeah, cats play at the craziest times. Like you don't have to sleep. They're just like, oh, human, clearly you don't need rest. Why would you need rest? Rude. Crude. He hit your door. Oh, no wonder. I mean, at least you know the cat's probably scaring away spirits. just by being completely chaotic. I'm so interested that so many people seem to have spirits at their workplace. What did your job do to be so haunted? I don't understand. What did Do Conflict say? I work at a retail pet store many people do not like that sells purebred puppies. Like what? Like PetSmart or Petco or something? Or maybe they mean something like local? I don't even know. Oh, it's softwood. I was like, what are we struggling with back here? Anyway, stop saying turtle butts over and over. I worked in the kennel area taking care of the puppies every day, feeding and grooming them, giving medicine and weighing them, taking temps, the whole 9 yards. I'd heard before from one of my managers that a couple playful spirits roamed the building, especially whenever it was quiet after close or in the morning before customers arrived. Huh. Occasional things falling off shelves when they were pushed against the back wall, a pen that kept falling out of the pencil holder, and giggling when no one's around were the stories I had been told. Okay, yeah, none of that sounds particularly malicious. It just sounds like they're having fun, just poking around and pranking people. Okay. A couple weeks after hearing about this, I had my first paranormal experience in the store. I want to preface this by saying the way the store is built, the kennels for the puppies are built into a long wall that divides the retail section of the store from my work area. Okay? I was closing up the kennel area and was about to take out the trash when I saw a man standing in the retail section of the store looking into one of the kennels at a corgi and a Shiba Inu we had at the time who were playing. Thinking it was my manager, I pushed through the doors into the main area and go to ask him a question about my shifts, and then he's gone. Oh. I look across the room and he's down the hall in the office, and there's no one else in the store besides my coworker who had been in the back with me and the cashier who was also in the office. Ooh, spooky. Uh-huh. Hold on. I asked my manager if he had just been looking at the puppies, and he said no. Throughout the rest of the time there, I heard giggling, saw a few running across the floor, saw no one walk through the curtain, and a human shape was visible underneath the curtain as it passed through, and I had a pen cap fly off the table as soon as I set it down. Definitely not the worst part of the job, that was actually one of the perks. Fuck that job, it was terrible. Well then. I love how the ghost was the good part of their job. That's kind of depressing though. Can you imagine you're being haunted and the ghost is actually the nicest person in your life? That's sad. What? Oh, like, I feel kind of bad for them. How long is this? It's not that long. It's like 4 paragraphs. 4 tiny paragraphs. It's whatever. Not too sure how to feel about this. It's either going to be nothing or like super weird, so brace yourselves and hold on to your underwear, I guess. In case it gets weird. This is serious? Really? That's your name? This is serious. Posted this 2 days ago. Who calmed down? Your cat? Good. Let's see. I don't usually post such things, as I like to think myself to be a fairly logical person. However, I'd appreciate if anyone who has had a similar experience or relevant technological know-how could come forward and possibly explain this. That would be fab. Who says fab? You know what? I'm not going to be judgmental, but I'm so curious. Who actually says fab? Myself and my partner were chilling together in our room. I love that intro. We was chilling. I was playing some PS5 whilst she was replying to voice notes. Then suddenly we both hear a really loud booming TV sound coming through the wall. Initially for about an hour we thought it was our neighbors. However, when I went to grab a snack from downstairs and the sound became much louder, I realized the sound was coming from inside the house. Why does this feel like a weird ghost version of when a stranger calls? It's coming from inside the house. Oh. Anyway. Let's see. More specifically in my mom's room. Oh, that's a little weird. Trouble is, my mom hasn't been home for a few weeks as she is always looking after a family member and we are the only ones in the house. So essentially, the TV turned on, changed volume, and changed channels on its own. Fam, I don't think it was on its own. I should mention it only changed channel when I walked into the room. Really? Also, as I was writing this, I heard a massive bang directly below us, which was loud enough to make me jump out of my skin. I've gone downstairs and investigated every inch of the house, and there's no one here. I even checked the shed outside. The only thing of note was that I found pliers outside of the back door. However, these belong to us. I checked out the front as expected. There's no one there either. Okay. In terms of the TV, it's pretty old. It's not capable of an internet connection, and the remote has to be directly pointed at it in order to operate the TV. So I guess they said that to indicate that no, it can't be hacked, so someone's not just screwing with them. Um. Anyway, it has to be directly pointed at it in order to operate the TV, which it wasn't when we found it on my mom's pillow. I can only assume the TV is potentially becoming faulty in its old age, but still, it's pretty eerie. I can only assume there to be a logical explanation for it all, which I've yet to find, but I'd be lying if it didn't freak us out a bit. Probably all these horror films we watch, who knows? I mean, definitely horror movies contribute to people's, like, spookified feelings, but the reason horror movies usually hit so close to home is because people have had spookified feelings before they see them. Like, we've been having spooky things happen to us before horror movies or horror novels existed, so. Fab is short for fabulous. Also, I'll send you platonic digital hugs. I'm sorry if I scared you. But yeah, the first movie I thought of when he said it's probably all these horror movies make me paranoid was Poltergeist, which is a somewhat old movie. Really. It's a somewhat old movie that my mom had and that we watched. And one of the things that happened was that the spirits were turning on the TV and using it as a portal. And they were trying to, like, abduct / possess one of the children. So, as soon as he said that, I had some unpleasant memories specifically about that movie. So, he's not wrong. Horror movies definitely make any supernatural experience feel weirder because, like, I feel like Hollywood coaches you to be terrified of, like, the smallest disturbance. Because they tell you that every spirit is trying to kill you even if it's not. So, just saying. Yeah. Yeah, that one definitely made me... It gives Poltergeist vibes. The movie. Not an actual poltergeist, but... Yeah. Actually, let me share the link to the movie's Wikipedia page. Poltergeist film original. Yeah, because there's a whole franchise. There are like 5 of them. I remember in the film the family had to move out of their house. But didn't it follow them to the motel? I don't remember. What the heck? I know. I don't know why your mom thought giving you a red nightlight would soothe you at night, but you seem to be more scared now than without having a nightlight, so I don't know what was in her head. Anyway, the original Poltergeist was actually a 1982 film. So it was technically before my time. Yes, I'm carbon dating myself. But yeah, technically it was before my time. Which doesn't really tell you when I was born, just that it was at or after 1982, which is like, what, a 40-year range at this point, so it doesn't really tell you anything. Anyway, 1982 supernatural horror film. Don't really care who directed or wrote it or whatever. Like, no one cares about that. Um, so disrespectful. So, basically, the plot of the original Poltergeist, let's see. Steve and Diane Freeling, was that really their name? It's been so many years, I legit forgot everyone's name in that movie. I don't remember any of the characters. Actually, no, that's not true. Caroline. Caroline was a character, wasn't she? No, Carol Ann. That's her name. I only got it half right. I know you always talk about how the light makes you feel like something suspicious is happening in your room. It says they moved into a planned community, which if you don't really know what that means because you're foreign, it's basically like this like cookie cutter suburb type thing 99% of the time, where like all of the houses are planned out in this like sort of grid and everything looks the same, or at least mostly the same. Because sometimes they give you the illusion of options. They'll be like, there are 3 options for this, but you have to pick one of the options. So it's not like you really have a choice, and everyone has one of the options. So, just saying. Anyway, they lived in a planned community in Cuesta Verde, California. He's a real estate agent, and I guess she's a stay at home mom looking after their kids. They have a 16-year-old Donna, I guess, an 8-year-old Robbie, and a 5-year-old Carol Ann. Late one night, Carol Ann inexplicably converses with the family's television set while it displays a post-broadcast static. The next night, she again fixates on the television, and a ghostly white hand emerges from the screen, followed by a violent earthquake. As the family is shaken awake, Carol Ann eerily declares that, quote, they are here. This is why it made me think of this movie. As soon as he started talking about that TV fuckery and the TV changing channels and turning on by itself, I was like, Poltergeist? You know, isn't there also a movie called White Noise where ghosts are communicating through the radio? Like, I swear that that's an actual movie. Let me see. Yes, don't say yes. Hold on. White Noise movie. White hold on. I guess I should say White Noise horror movie, because apparently there was something released in 2022, but that's not what I'm talking about. There was a movie released in my childhood. See, White Noise, 2005 film, supernatural horror thriller. Yep. He says he has recorded messages from, yeah, his dead wife Anna through electronic voice phenomena, EVP. Oh. I love how my husband came by to shove a piece of the meat he cooked into my mouth. It's really good. Lay it down. I don't want to eat right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the movie White Noise, he was like actually tricked by a spirit or something. He starts believing that the recordings of a voice are actually his wife, and he becomes obsessed with trying to contact her. He is warned by a psychic that while she takes measures to avoid hostile entities, EVP is an indiscriminate process that offers no such safeguards. Basically, she's saying since she can actually communicate with spirits or like see them or hear them or whatever, that she can filter out the bad ones and help him contact his wife without him accidentally getting possessed or something. But he's relying on this electronic device that picks up voices of spirits. And obviously a machine is not a person, and it doesn't have like empathy or intuition or the kind of reasoning that humans do. So it just kind of gives him any voice that comes by. And since it can't discern between someone who's telling the truth and someone who's not, he can be getting anyone who is claiming that they're a certain person. So that's why she warns him. So that's the movie I was thinking about. But yeah, that one post on Paranormal made me think about the Poltergeist film from 1982. I've seen too many horror movies, y'all. I've seen too many horror movies. My mom had me watching them literally since I was born. I've seen so many. I saw the original Pumpkinhead. I saw the original Nightmare on Elm Street and the whole series. Saw the original Friday the 13th. Saw the original Halloween. I saw, Lord help me, what else did I see? Pumpkinhead, Chucky. Like, I saw stuff literally from the time I was little. I feel like that's part of why I'm desensitized now. Like, it's literally just same shit, different day. Like, you keep checking around because you're paranoid now? No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm definitely gonna send links to both of those Wikipedia pages, though. Is the meat ready, baby?
Yeah.
Okay, he says the meat's ready, so I guess I should go ahead and get off. I'm so sorry that your room is red, but that is not my fault. Your mom did that.
You're fine.
Yeah, that's not my fault. Look, I may have told you the spookified stories, but I didn't make your room red. Your mom did that. But yeah, I'll wrap this up. I'll go ahead and have her sell off the rest of her stuff, and then... I mean, it was a surprise stream. I didn't even expect to come on today, but I was like, you know what? Why don't I... Why don't I do this? There we go. Yep, dinner. Yeah. Yes, we shall. Thank you. Yee. Although before that, I have to get her to sell her stuff. Oh, crap. I didn't cover the hole up. Okay. I don't think anything's going to be in the flowers because it's been raining in the game literally the entire time I've been streaming. Has anyone seen a bird-faced figure? What? I feel like that looks like it's way too long for me to read during my... Oh, no, never mind. It's actually like three short paragraphs long. Okay. That's weird. Bearbait Untamed? Did they come up with their username? Or is that randomly generated by Reddit? That's so strange. So me and my brother saw a cloaked figure with what appeared to be a long beak and a bird face follow us around for a night when we were kids. Maybe 5, me, and 8 him, 20 years ago in Southern California. It was about 8 p.m. and the family was taking a trip to a hotel. Okay, me and my brother saw the figure about 7 feet tall walking down the street and stopping and staring at us as we sat in the car looking out the window. It appeared not to reflect any of the light from the street light, almost like a shadow, and it seemed to absorb the light around it. We could see it, but no adults could, and our older brother, 11, couldn't either. Later on the drive, we saw it standing on the street corner 2 more times and then never again, and neither of us have ever seen it again. Okay, some very bad stuff happened to us kids in the coming weeks, months, and years. I like to think it was... Really? Kokopelli, god of children, childbirth, and agriculture. I think it was a sign we were being protected. It didn't feel malevolent, but it's absolutely bizarre. Maybe a shared delusion. Neither of us ever saw anything strange again. Huh. That's from 2 days ago. Honestly, though, I wasn't expecting him to be like, oh, it's protecting me. Huh. That makes a lot of sense, and I honestly did not expect OP to be, like, indigenous or aware of indigenous stuff, but... Because that sounds like it would be what outsiders would call an Aztec or Mayan or related culture. A deity from one of those cultures. Or, again, a related culture. Huh. Well, I can't sell this today because I already sold all my stuff. I'll sell it tomorrow, but it ran right across my path, so I just caught it anyway. If it hadn't been right there, I wouldn't have done it. Anyway, let's put our money in the bank. I honestly... There are actually people who have seen a cryptid that they believe is still the Mothman, but some people have seen it have more of an owl face instead of like more of an insect face. I honestly think that's 2 different cryptids. But I also have opinions on how cryptids are probably just indigenous spirits. But anyway, I I guess it's not Mothman because a lot of reports of Mothman 204 I mean excuse me 240,600, that's a good amount. A lot of the accounts I've heard of Mothman say that people have like had nervous breakdowns or slipped into madness when they've seen it. And also that Mothman has red eyes. So I guess it does sound more like the spirit he thinks it is than Mothman. But the other thing is that Mothman seems to be like, what's the word? A harbinger? Like basically signaling that bad things will happen. Which is why my mind went to that before he was like, oh, it's probably this indigenous spirit. I was like, oh, really? Okay. Hmm. Well, either way, clearly the spirit was not trying to hurt him, so I guess it doesn't matter. Like, as long as he and his brother were okay. Hmm. If it was that spirit, I guess it would say that the old gods are, like, obviously still active in modern society. Proof! From the mouths of babes. Anyway, I gotta get off so I don't starve my husband to death or whatever. Oh my god, Pierce, really? Do I look like I want to talk to you right now, Pierce? Shoo. Is he still here? My character can't move. He literally always says, I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. And I'm like, literally, every time you come, I don't want you here. Pierce, why? I have to pretend to leave so that he'll leave. I don't know why he showed up. I hate when he does that. There we go. That's a good way to get him to leave quickly. I don't know who just bursts into your house without even knocking and then makes himself at home despite the fact that he sees you getting into bed. Like, what? That's weird. Is he dense, stupid, or creepy? The world may never know. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, Magic Cat, even though it was a surprise stream and you were kind of scared. Good luck on your exam. Alright. Bye.